Thank you very much. Um, Good morning, everyone, and my apologies for coming in the middle of the program. I had to fulfill my commitment also to the other invitation as we opened the new Hungary embassy this morning. And so together with Ambassador Yesen, I think we were both there, and but we do not want to miss this particular forum that we have here. And with that, of course, allow me to first thank from the bottom of my heart our partners from the EU for all this support that they're giving us. How about giving them a big round of applause? Particular appreciation also goes to my professor, the leader in the group, Dr. Alburo. I saw him there earlier. Oh, there you were. Dr. Alburo, my boss. And so today's closing, first also, thank you Ambassador Yesen for mentioning that you are now the top expert destination for Philippine products. I'm sure that will be a good gift for our President who's celebrating his birthday today. I will relate that to President Duterte, that EU is the biggest trading partner as of January. And we also look forward to really moving forward our discussions on the FTA, following our meeting with Minister Malmström last month. Okay, thank you. So today's closing event marks the completion of the TRTA 3 activities. Today we reaffirm the long-term partnership between the Philippines and the European Union. On behalf of the Department of Trade and Industry, Departments of Justice, Agriculture, Health and Finance, Bureau of Customs, I would like to express our appreciation to the TRTA 3 program, stakeholders from the private sector, as well as the bureaus and agencies of government for your commitment to supporting our common goal, that of increasing our country's capacities to integrate into the regional and global trade and investment system. The achievements of the TRTA 3 combined with a more proactive government which acts as facilitator and coordinator will eventually redound to allowing our micro SME to benefit from global trade. By working on trade-related issues through the project, the EU and the Philippines collaborated to strengthen the framework for trade policy for inclusive growth, enhance our capacity to implement competition policy and national quality infrastructure to protect consumers and improve compliance with international standards, to increase access to international market and to facilitate cross-border movements of goods. TRTA 3 collaborated with government agencies and private sector stakeholders to achieve its successes. In trade policy development, TRTA 3 worked closely with industry associations and various bureaus and agencies to craft the Philippine Export Development Plan. As a result of this wide collaboration, the PEDP now extends beyond merchandise trade to include services. In the field of competition policy development, the TRTA 3, together with other technical assistants, various offices and associations, supported the recently organized Philippine Competition Commission to analyze regulations and policies in the critical sectors, especially of energy and telecommunications. On the national quality infrastructure, after a continued advocacy, the TRTA 3 supported the Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau to identify gaps in market surveillance and to set up a pilot project to mainstream a culture of quality in DTI's Consumer Protection Group, headed here by Undersecretary Ted Pasqua and formerly headed by Undersecretary Zen Maglaya. So they worked on the standards, metrology, and accreditation. During this 4-year period, trade-related agencies such as the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, Food and Drugs Administration, Bureau of Customs, Office for Competition, and the Bureau of Customs were among the beneficiaries of expertise of TRTA 3. to illustrate, Food and Drug Administration officials trained on sanitation and related safety processes for fish products, bringing our food products closer to quality-based international markets, and on risk-based processed food inspection of food business operators to increase the efficiency of DA inspectors, or FDA inspectors. Likewise, the passage of the Customs Modernization and Tariff Law, which TRTA 3 held through the Bureau of Customs, is in itself a significant milestone. This omnibus law would be the coherent set of rules, regulations, and procedures that would dictate how producers, traders, exporters, importers, brokers, and other stakeholders behave in the movement of goods into and out of the country. Private sector stakeholders also benefited from the program. The Rapid Response Facility window actively provided complementary activities to public and private agencies for unanticipated needs, such as those measures to help lift the country's yellow card from the EU for deficiencies in the battle against illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing, greater participation of the DOH in trade in services, and information dissemination of EU timber regulation to local furniture makers, among others. These achievements support technical, regulatory, and administrative facets of trade integration and identify specific points of intervention based on state-of-the-art methodology and processes that the TRTA3 brings to bear on the country's institutions and stakeholders. Our mission in government, in particular the DTI, is in the engagement of the micro SMEs in international trade. This has been our advocacy in APEC with the adoption of the Boracay Action Agenda, and this is our advocacy with our chairmanship of the ASEAN this year. MSMEs comprise 99.6% of Philippine establishments, employing about 60% Filipino workers. However, the MSMEs dominate most sectors in terms of numbers. It does not have the same prominence when it comes to contribution to GVA. DTI would like to talk global knowledge of how MSMEs participate in international trade, so we could have the empirical basis and a methodological understanding to craft appropriate interventions. For example, analytical expertise of how MSMEs fare as indirect traders, the control and quality mechanisms and arrangements with direct traders, and their likely graduation as direct traders will be useful for harnessing limited government resources for policies and programs to shepherd their development. Best practices in providing training and mentoring to micro SMEs engaging in trade would guide our efforts in their evolution. Actually, there are a lot of programs being done right now to mentor our micro SMEs, to complement also the programs being undertaken here in the TRTA. And this is with respect to having programs like mentoring in negotiation centers. There are over 450 nationwide. One-on-one mentoring of micro SMEs that will really allow them to participate in the global value chain. There is no doubt that bringing knowledge, expertise, studies, and experiences will sharpen our policies and strategies for generating jobs, creating more inclusive growth, as we promote, of course, the development of micro SMEs, and reducing poverty. This is what we call really inclusive growth. Our collaboration with the EU in this area, with its access to networks of global know-how, country experiences, and expertise for necessary studies will definitely help improve our micro SME programs and its larger trade potential. This closing event allows us to take stock of what the TRTA3 has done in the last 4 years. While much has been achieved, there is much more to be done. Let us examine more closely the strands that trace the potentials of micro SMEs to penetrate international trade and how to sustain them. While we have identified gaps in our readiness for external markets and supportive regulatory or administrative measures, we also need to elicit broad participation of stakeholders to achieve scale in increasing public support for micro SMEs to engage in regional and global trade. We close the RTA 3 today by recognizing our efforts in taking steps to prepare our country for moving up the value chain and integrating in the world market. We should be able to plot our succeeding efforts to allow our micro SME to reap the benefits of international trade. And once again, let me thank our partner EU for really making this a reality, our dream, and our cooperation among stakeholders in making sure that the micro SME will maximize its potential and be part of the global value chain that in the end will lead down to a more inclusive growth for our country. We take note and we should remember that growth would mean nothing, if it does not lead down to the benefit of all the Filipino people. In DTI, we say we all really provide opportunities, magbigay ng oportunidad at abilidad para lahat ay umunlad. So we give opportunities and their capacity building so that everyone will have a chance to become successful and move up in life. Good morning, everyone.